Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Iris and I am here to do your June 2019 spiritual guidance readings. And this reading today are for all of you lovely, beautiful Cancer people out there. So I read my cards intuitively so that I can receive messages that are for your highest good and that are on your highest path, and it's just guidance to help you through each of the months. So let's get started with your reading, Cancer. So I'm using 2 decks today, actually 3. I'm using Wisdom of the Oracle, then I am using the Fairy Tarot, which is my favorite deck, and I'm also using Kuan Yin Oracle cards for kind of an overall spiritual guidance for the month as well. So Cancer, let's see what energy you are bringing in with you into the month of June. So this is where I'm using Wisdom of the Oracle. So I pre-shuffled and premeditated on your cards, and I'm just going to wait for 3 cards to come out. And as you can see, I'm outside today and it's amazing, and the backdrop here is amazing as well. And so there might be some outside noise. There's like a lot of wind today. So your first card out is Regeneration in reverse, and I'm going to show you each of these cards in just a moment. I hope that May has been good to you. June is proving to be a very productive and healing month, so it's going to be interesting to see what's coming out in cards for you for June. Okay, there we go. And the next one is Deep Knowing in reversed. And don't be afraid about reversed cards. They are a protection message. They don't ever mean anything bad, and nothing in my readings are ever bad. It's all guidance that's here to help you on your highest path and just help to guide you. That could never be wrong. So one more card, Spirit. Energy that Cancer is bringing in with them into the month of June. Here we go. In an unfinished symphony. All right, here we go. So what you have is Regeneration in reversed. And with Regeneration, this is really actually a really beautiful card because you see the fire underneath here, and then you see the new life, and everything is green, and there's new flowers on this tree here. And this one is in reverse. And so what I'm getting from this, Cancer, is that you have been working through a lot of stuff prior to June, and perhaps things aren't moving quite as quickly as you would like them to. Maybe there's something that you're fighting and not letting go of. And then next to it is the Deep Knowing. And the Deep Knowing, we've got this wise owl here on, and the moon is in behind them. And in its upright position, it says to me that, you trust your inner intuition. Be like the wise owl, and, trust that deep knowing, that inkling that you have. However, this is in reverse, which is really saying to me that you're not trusting that inner deep knowing, and it might be causing a little bit of conflict within you, and it might be also preventing. See how we're still upside down, we're still in that fire zone. So for some of you, perhaps you're not letting go and not trusting that everything is is going to work out the way you would like it to, because the last card here is Unfinished Symphony, which is about, you know, things that need to be ending, the end of a cycle. But it's upright as well. Again, nothing bad in any of these upright cards or reverse cards. But overall, with all three of these put together, I just feel like regeneration and rebirth is trying to happen, right? So, like this fire down here, it's meant to be like blossoming up, you know, but you're not trusting your intuition and that inner knowing of what is right, and you're not letting whatever needs to be finished be finished. So that, you know, of course, that's not going to be for everybody. That's going to be for some of you, but that's kind of the overall energy that you're bringing with you into the month of June. And of course, in order to turn these cards like this is about, again, I don't want to belabor this, but I just am being guided to just really add clarity to this. In order to move forward in our lives, we have to let this cycle and this pattern or a belief or whatever it is, it could be a person, it could be a circumstance, it could be a friendship, it could be a work situation, something, okay? So it's trying to end, right? And you know what the right thing to do is, but it's like you're like this right now, right? And you're not trusting yourself. Trust yourself, right? And once you trust yourself, you'll be able to actually turn this upright, right? And then you have more of this, and this is what is trying to come in for you, is this rebirth and this regrowth. So I hope that helps clarify. So now I'm going to move on to the Fairy Tarot. And again, I don't read traditional tarot. I just go based on what guidance I get, and this is your guidance for June 2019. So I hope that grinding isn't disruptive in the video. Nice peaceful setting, and then we've got that nice grinding in the background, but that's okay. All right, so first out is the Nine of Winter, and I'm going to show you the cards, and just as the cards are coming out, I'll talk about them as they come out, and then I will put a story together on the guidance. So the Nine of Winter talks about, as I showed you here, and this is a card of worry. So you can see how the fairy is looking out towards the night sky and at the moon, and, you know, worrying about something and contemplating, and maybe mulling around in her mind, you know, is this the right thing to do, and maybe catastrophizing something, thinking about the worst case scenario. And so that's what this that card is representing. And interestingly enough, it falls underneath the regeneration in reverse, so that there's something that you're worrying about, that you're holding on to, that you're being afraid to let go of. You know what to do with the deep knowing card, but you're not allowing it to just be what it is, and let go of what isn't working. Like you know what you need, right? The Ten of Spring also just popped up, and this talks about, you know, working lots, you know, asking for help, needing a little bit of guidance, needing a little bit more support from somebody else, and, you know, feeling weighed down and perhaps burdened by responsibility, maybe circumstances, you know. So let's see what else is coming out here. Sometimes they just take a second to come out. That's way too many. Way too many. Okay, messages for June for Cancer, June 2019. There we go. And then we've got the Queen of Spring. And this is about believing in yourself. And again, I'll show you the cards. I just want to focus in on these last 3 cards here. Just allow them to come out. Both the Ten of Spring and the Queen of Spring talk about being surrounded by people, there we go, who want to help you and not being afraid to ask for help and ask for guidance. And I can't help but think that this has something to do with the regeneration and that deep knowing. And one more card. So we've got the Eight of Spring. You've got a lot of spring in your reading this month, Cancer. And Eight of Spring talks about, you know, you're good at multitasking. There we go. You're good at multitasking and, you know, a sudden change of events, juggling a lot of balls in the air. So let's just start at the beginning. So as I said, we've got this Nine of Winter, which is being so caught up in your own thoughts and worrying about things and, you know, worst case scenario and going through your mind and thinking about, you know, like if I do this, then this will happen. If I do that, then that will happen. And I can't think of any good solution for this. The Ten of Spring talks about Ten of Spring talks about, you know, like a lot of burden, a lot of responsibility, and also the guidance to don't be afraid to ask for help. And same with, you know, the Queen of Spring, right? And this talks about believing in yourself, trusting in your inner knowing, and, you know, trust in yourself, and also reach out for help if you need some help getting some clarity or some guidance, perhaps even legal help if you need it. Not everything, like there's no bad outcomes. I don't see any bad outcomes here at all. But here's the Eight of Spring, and this is the multitasking card. This is, although you can do it, multitasking, we're not designed to be multitasking and having to juggle so many balls in the air. It's exhausting. It's exhausting, and it creates a lot of this restlessness and this, you know, how do I fix this? What do I need to do? And, you know, thinking about worst case scenarios. But the guidance for you really, Cancer, is this. I love this King of Winter, because this King of Winter is a wise person. So you see this big owl here as well. So not only is the King of Winter very wise within himself, but also the owl, the two together. You know, this King of Winter, you know, he's stoic in his emotion. There's not a lot of emotion in him. So if you're having a conversation and you want to have a feel-good feeling, you're not going to get that feel-good feeling from the King of Winter. And the King of Winter, although it's represented here by a man, doesn't have to be a man. This could be a woman as well. But there is somebody that is either coming into your life or is in your life, or somebody that you will be seeking out that is going to give you some really solid guidance that you need to hear. So that is really, really wonderful news, right? And then the Four of Spring, also, like you've got the Ten of Spring, the Queen of Spring, the Eight of Spring, and you've got the Four of Spring. And this is a happiness card. This is a contentment card for me. This is about a gratitude card. Sometimes we can get so consumed in this energy that we forget about all of the good things and that is in our life right now. And you are going through a regeneration process that you're bringing that energy into May or into June. So this stuff has started May and maybe even before May, but there is something that is coming to an end. You are ready for new beginnings with that regeneration card. But I really get the feeling that you're doing a lot of worrying and you're wondering, what am I supposed to do in this situation? You got so many balls in the air, but there are people around you who, particularly this King of Winter, all you need to do is ask and people are going to be there to help you out. It's all around you. Help is all around you. And help sometimes can come in the smallest form. It doesn't have to be, you know, this big production of this sit down and this, you know, counseling session or anything like that. Sometimes help can come in the form of just nuggets of wisdom. Just passing by and you're having a conversation with a coworker and they say something to you and you go, huh, never thought of that before. I never looked at it that way. And so sometimes wisdom and insight and clarity and answers come to you from a different perspective from other people. But I really feel strongly that there is somebody that is either in your midst or that you will be seeking out that is going to really, really help you in whatever this situation is. And the guidance, of course, is saying, you know, life is not so bad. Things are not as bad as they appear to be, and look around you and have gratitude for this, like even a bright sunny day and a comfortable bed to sleep in and the love of family and friends, whatever this situation is for you that is kind of keeping you stuck. So Cancer, things look good for you. I think that things are going to, whatever this situation is, whatever this symphony is that's trying to finish, that is being held up with because of worry and fear, I think if you switch your perspective to one of gratitude and get some help, ask for help, get some advice if that's what you need, because it's all around you. And you know, there's going to be peace in your life. And because you're definitely going through a regeneration phase right now. So I picked up my Kuan Yin Oracle deck because I want to just get the oomph up your spiritual message. And I really love this deck because it usually echoes everything that's in the reading for you. So you got Maiden Magoo, and unfortunately I'm not familiar with all of the messages in this particular deck, so I am going to read from the deck and I hope you enjoy it. That's just an absolutely beautiful card. It's card 16. We'll quickly hopefully turn to card 16. Here we go. All right. The Maiden Magoo, goddess of spring, healing and transformation, brings you assistance now. You are asked to honor that light can come from even the darkest beginnings, beloved one. In fact, sometimes we need to enter into the unknown parts of ourselves to find exactly what we need to grow in peace, creative self-fulfillment, and happiness. The challenge can be to trust that we will arise from the darker place again, just as the spring always follows the winter. So too will any inner work with the shadow precede a beautiful rebirth for you. And you know, I love that because that message in and of itself talks about this card, the rebirth card. You're in a process of rebirth. So it goes on to say, Maiden Magoo, an immortal expression of the Divine Mother of the East, now brings you a special message from Kuan Yin. She guides you to trust that if you enter into the darkness of the unknown parts of yourself, you will emerge into light, reassembled and reborn once more. If you're going through chaos in your life because you are allowing yourself to grow, Maiden Magoo also reassures that the order and light will emerge out of the chaos in due course. Have faith and keep growing. That's really a relevant and significant message there. If you're going through chaos in your life because you're allowing yourself to grow, often what happens is that when we go through a spiritual awakening or we are going through that ascension process, chaos does rain down on us because we are moving out of who we used to be into a more higher level of and that can create a lot of chaos because we're leaving familiar behind and we're moving into this really beautiful space, but there's a lot of unknown stuff. And again, this is like completely speaks to this rebirth and what it is that you're going through. And I think that there is some chaos going on in your life. So let's see what else they have to say. It says, have faith and keep growing. In order to grow spiritually, there are times when we must simply delve within and find our shadows. It is easier to perceive the effect of the shadow than the shadow itself. The effect of the shadow is judgment, positive or negative, of another that we do not think is related to us personally. We may mightily admire or despise characteristics in traits in another, and yet when such judgment arise, it is part of us that is seeking to be integrated and expressed, trying to get our attention through our judgment. Noticing our judgments of others is the quickest way to get in touch with the shadow self trying to grow and heal into our conscious awareness so that we can become more whole, empowered, and divinely delicious as we were always meant to be. This is especially true if you've pulled shadow of the veils, which we have not. Your judgment might be a strong reaction to a person who seems to be self-centered and self-obsessed. The shadow in the self trying to communicate with you through this judgment might be the part of your own consciousness that wishes to be more supportive of the self. It will no longer allow you to put yourself behind others, but instead encourage you to express yourself and take up your space with your presence. Admiring a great talent in another with strong reaction or judgment, positive or negative, might be a part of your own psyche wishing to grow and express itself with similar confidence and freedom too. It can be extremely surprising exactly how many wonders are hiding in the parts of us that we are yet to know consciously. Sometimes there is anger, fear, jealousy, or shame wrapped around those hidden parts of self. If we can be kind, allow the feelings to come up and to pass without fearing them, then eventually the beauty underneath will reveal itself too. This, it goes into, there's a couple more paragraphs that I would like to read to you. But so far, what this message is here is that oftentimes we look at others and we judge others. And what this message is saying to us is that the judgment that we have of others, we're being encouraged to look at ourselves and see how we are judging ourselves, and perhaps coming from a place of more compassion and empathy for the other person's journey. That's the self-love part of it. Self-love, love for self, and love and compassion for other people and the journey that they're on. So it goes on to say, you are being guided by Mother Divine Kuan Yin through the Maiden Magoo to realize that there's a part of you within that is trying to emerge. We may have judgments of others on one issue or trait that seems to be more repetitive or noticeable. You are guided to sense what beauty within you could be underneath those judgments, trying to make its way into your conscious awareness, bringing you more of yourself to enjoy and share with the world. Be patient and open-minded as you wait for your intuition to help you realize what is growing within you, triggering your judgment of another. If it is anger you see in others, it will be strength growing in you. If it is manipulation you see in others, it will be desire to be direct and own your needs within you that is growing. The shadow holds great beauty within, and there is no need to fear it. Special blessings to you, Maiden Magoo's special blessing to you is to realize that you will soon enter the spring of rebirth with this process. Entering into the shadow self can feel like going into spiritual winter. It can feel dark and alone, delving into the parts of us that we need to, or that we might prefer not to look at too closely. Allow the process that is happening for you to bring more of you to light. Don't be scared. You might not have been ready to see yourself as an empowered, spiritual, musical, creative, healthy, or talented being in the past, and yet now you are more ready for this. So embrace it. Have trust in beloved Kuan Yin that these energies only seek expression when the psyche is ready for it. So when the student appears, or when the student is ready, the teacher appears. This card is also an indicator that if you have been working on a project, whether it be self-healing and shadow work or a creative project, or are looking to work with children, rebirthing, or creative endeavors more generally, the time is fast approaching when this will come together as a new reality for you. So whatever is going on in your life that you perceive as chaos, this unfinished symphony and energy that is trying to finish, that's what is going on here. Again, it could be your judgments of yourself, judgments of another. You're worrying, you're multitasking, trying to juggle so many balls in the air, and you know, the guidance for you is compassion and love for self, and just recognizing that you are also going through your own time of spiritual growth. And sometimes that can be really difficult as we let go of what's familiar and uncomfortably comfortable, and as we move into a comfortable new state that on one hand is very exciting, yet on the other hand very, very scary. But something is trying to finish so that you can get into this place of rebirth and get going with things in your life. So Cancer, that is what I have for you for the month of June 2019. I hope that you have enjoyed this reading, that it resonated with you in some way, and you take some nuggets that you can use as you move forward into June. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I will leave all of the details and information on how you can get in contact with me. And until we meet again mid-June, as I do a top up for you, have a beautiful month of June. This is a great reading. You're in definitely in a time of spiritual growth and awakening and ascension. And I wish you so much love and light, and we'll see you soon. Bye.